the early days of the world, long before cities rose or nations formed, the earth had become filled with violence. People chose cruelty over kindness. They ignored every reminder of the God who created them. Their thoughts were fixed on wickedness, and the earth grew darker with each passing year. Among all who lived then, one man stood apart. His name was Noah. He lived with steady faith and a clean heart. He treated others with fairness. He raised his family to honor God. While his neighbors followed their own desires, Noah chose a different path. In a world filled with corruption, he lived quietly and faithfully. One day Noah heard the voice of God. It was not the voice of thunder. It was firm and clear. God told him that the world had reached a point where destruction was unavoidable. The violence of humankind had covered the earth, and a great flood would come to cleanse it. Yet God offered a way of salvation. He told Noah to build an ark, large enough to preserve his household and the animals chosen to repopulate the earth. Noah listened closely as God gave exact instructions. The ark was to be long and steady, like a great ship. It would have 3 levels: rooms for living and storage for food. It would be built from strong gopher wood and sealed inside and out to keep the water out. Noah understood the weight of the command. Building such a vessel would require years of labor. His neighbors would not understand. They would laugh. They would question. But Noah held fast to the instruction he had received. He trusted the one who gave it. He spoke with his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They stood beside him, and together they began the long work. Wood was cut, planks were shaped, heavy beams were lifted into place. Day after day, as the structure grew, people came from nearby towns to watch. Some called Noah foolish. Others accused him of wasting his strength. Noah continued his work without argument. He kept his mind on the task God had given. Time passed. The ark finally stood complete, rising above the land like a great wooden mountain. Then the next instruction arrived. God told Noah to gather the animals, 2 of every creature that moved on the earth, birds of every kind, animals that walked, creatures that crawled, and from the clean animals used for sacrifice, 7 pairs. To the amazement of all who saw, the animals came by themselves. They moved calmly toward the ark, guided by the same God who created them. Elephants walked beside small deer. Lions did not roar or attack. Birds filled the sky and settled at the entrance. Noah and his family guided them into their rooms. Food was stored in clay containers and woven baskets. Water was sealed in large skins. Every living thing had a place. The day came when God told Noah to enter the ark with his family. They stepped inside. They checked every room once more. Then God closed the door with his own hand. When the door sealed shut, the world outside remained unaware of what was about to begin. Clouds gathered. Winds shifted. The first drops fell from the sky. They fell lightly at first, then grew heavier by the moment. Soon, the sound of rain filled the land. Water rose from the ground. Rivers overflowed. Streams turned into raging floods. The people who once mocked Noah ran in fear. They knocked at the ark, begging to be let in. Noah could not open the door. The decision was in God's hands alone. Rain continued without pause for 40 days and 40 nights. Waves struck against the ark. The whole world below was covered by water. Every mountain disappeared beneath the rising flood. Only the ark moved steadily across the deep waters, kept safe by the one who commanded it to float. Inside the ark, Noah and his family cared for the animals. They fed them. They calmed them. They waited with patience even when the days grew long. At last the rain stopped, but the water remained. The ark drifted for months. Noah waited for instruction. He believed that God would speak again at the right moment. One day the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. The water had begun to sink. Noah opened a window and released a raven. It flew back and forth until the water dried enough for land to show. Noah then sent out a dove. It found no place to rest and returned to him. After 7 days, he sent the dove again. This time, it came back with a fresh olive leaf. Noah knew the earth was healing. After another 7 days, he released the dove once more, and it did not return. God spoke again. The time had come to leave the ark. Noah opened the great door. Sunlight filled the rooms. Fresh air poured in. The animals walked out in pairs and scattered to the renewed earth. Noah stepped out with his family and looked at the world that had once been covered by water. The first thing he did was build an altar. He offered a sacrifice of gratitude. The smoke rose gently, and God received it with favor. Then God made a promise. He placed a rainbow in the sky as a sign of his covenant. Never again would a flood destroy the whole earth. Seasons would continue, life would grow, the world would stand as long as God desired. Noah and his family began their new lives. The earth grew again. Nations would come from their descendants. And the rainbow remained as a reminder of mercy and faithfulness. Noah's story teaches that obedience can carry a person through storms. It shows that faith is strongest when the world around seems lost, and it reminds us that God can renew what seems beyond repair. This is the story of Noah and the ark. Please leave a comment and subscribe. It helps us create more amazing contents like this.